I met a girl last night, a very nice girl. She told me a story about her friend who had psychosis, and basically she ended up in a psychiatric ward and then she ended up in prison. Stay tuned for more. What's happening, leprechauns? Guess who's back? Not Leo the leprechaun, because I do not have my leprechaun outfit in Portugal. Because why the fuck would I? As you can see by my bag, I am travelling light. And as you can see by my bag, I am also very organised, as always. Although it looks a mess, I actually am quite organised. I have everything easily accessible, and also I have everything I need. Olá, tudo bem? Desculpa if I falei too much Portuguese. I'm learning Portuguese while I'm here, so you might find some random Portuguese words slipping in there. Before I get back into this interesting story of a woman with psychosis ending up in prison, let me show you a bit about my room in this wonderful hostel in Porto. My original plan was to get an apartment so that I could exclusively record my YouTube videos. I spent my first day in a hostel, of course, in order to save money, and then my plan was to go to an apartment on the second day. However, this hostel ended up being fucking amazing, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna stay here. There's so much room for me to record videos, it's kind of quiet, so I'll have that peace of mind, and on top of that, I'm saving like €45 over the space of 2 days, which is a fucking lot. Anyway, let's get back to the story. Last night, I met this girl from California. San Francisco, baby! San Francisco! So yeah, back to the story. This Californian girl told me about her friend who had a psychotic break. So this story is completely in the third person, so I don't know how much of it is true. The events are always going to be muddled up considering it's going from one person to the next. You know how Chinese whispers work. But anyway, I'm going to try and give you the best recollection of the story that I have. Any noise that is coming from outside, I really do apologise. I'm doing the best that I can right now. So this girl had a childhood friend. Now, this girl was brought up in quite traumatic conditions. Her family were immigrants from China moving to the US, and her father left her mother. Her mother was left there to bring up the child on her own in an unknown country, and the mother really failed to integrate within society. She didn't know any English, and she was just stuck in the house all the time. This girl referred to her friend as never having a proper family to come home to, which is never a good thing. The girl, apparently, she was always saying that she was going to leave California and she was going to go travelling. And then guess what? She did go travelling. And apparently she had a fucking amazing time. And then she came back. This fucking Hoover man. Okay, let's do this quickly. And then she came back. She came back to all of her psychological problems. And she took acid. She took acid with her friends, and apparently she was never the same ever again. A couple of days later, she ended up in a psychiatric unit. And then a couple of years later, her mum became malnourished. She got taken away. And her friend got charged with a felony for threatening to cut someone with a knife. And she was experiencing extreme delusional paranoia, feeling like people were chasing her. And yeah, she ended up in prison. Now, whenever you look at this girl's story, you can clearly see that there is psychological issues there. You can clearly see there is a problem at home, and yet also you can clearly see that from being admitted to a psychiatric ward, why the fuck did the system throw her in a prison? You know, is that going to make her any better? What do you think? Is getting thrown in a prison going to make you any better? Personally, I completely disagree with the use of prisons in the first place. You know, there's such a high statistic rate of people recommitting crimes because it's all that they know. You know, there's no actual help out there for people committing crimes, is there? And then to be mentally ill and get thrown to a prison? Come on, America, you're better than them. Historically, you know, people with mental illnesses, they've not been treated that well, have they? I mean, look at the Nazis. But in the 21st century, you'd like to think it was a bit better, wouldn't you? So, leprechauns, tell me, do you know of any other stories of people who are mentally ill getting locked up, or any other shocking horror stories of people being unrightfully abused? I'd love to hear them. Write them down in the comments. This injustice in society, you know, hopefully we will see a change. The system is not built to help us. The system is built for us to stay the same, to not change, to not develop. But in the meantime, the best thing that we can do is spread this awareness. So please, if you have any stories similar to this, or if something similar to this happens in your country, then please write them down. I know a lot of you are from the US, so I wonder, do you have any other similar stories to this? Alright, leprechauns, thank you for listening. Lots of love. See you soon. Goodbye.